Parties want to win. If a party doesn't win, it doesn't have shit.
It treats the audience like they have a brain, which is missing in so many ads in both parties. Welcome to Political Experts React, where we break down political ads in media, explain what the people behind them were trying to accomplish, and decide whether or not they did a good job. I'm Dan Pfeiffer, former communications director for Barack Obama.
And joining me today is Democratic Strategist Paul Begala, who served as counselor and chief strategist to President Bill Clinton.
Joining me now on Political Experts React is legendary Democratic strategist Paul Begala. Paul, it's great to see you.
Hey, Dan, great to see you too. I don't know about legendary, but aging is good.
Legend in my mind, at least, so we'll take that. In recent episodes, we've been looking at ads from Republicans, a lot of really batshit insane Republican primary ads. But today, we're going to look at some ads from some Democrats trying to introduce themselves to voters under, we would say, suboptimal political circumstances.
To say the least.
And you're wearing the right hat for this because our first ad is from Luke Warford, who is running for the Texas Railroad Commission.
The Texas Railroad Commission is the most important climate election in the country. Confused? You're supposed to be.
See, the commission used to oversee railroads, but today it oversees Texas oil and gas. It's run by 3 elected commissioners who are supposed to regulate the same oil and gas executives that fund their campaigns. No wonder we're the largest greenhouse gas emitter in the country.
And when the power went out last winter, where were the commissioners? They were helping their friends make billions and passing the costs on to the rest of us while we were freezing in our homes. I'm Luke Warford. I've advised global energy companies, worked to fight misinformation online, and led one of the largest voter registration efforts in Texas history. Together, we can protect the environment for future generations and turn the lights on in one of the shadiest agencies in the country. So get on board. And if people ask you why, just tell them. The Texas Railroad Commission is the most important climate election in the country.
Normally, we focus a lot on ads for Congress, Senate, governor. This is our first Railroad Commission ad. And I wanted to talk to you about it because, one, you are a very proud Texan. But also what is unique about this ad to me is that normally you have to introduce yourself. Here, Luke Warford is introducing himself and the job he's running for. What did you think of this ad?
I think that that's an ad to raise money online from national donors, not to get votes in Texas. And for that, it does a good job. In Texas, the only issue to me that matters for the Railroad Commission is that the lights went out, the power went out, 700 people died. And so for Texans, that's the only thing that matters. But a donor in LA, Boston, Philly is not going to care about that as much, frankly. It does a lot. It's sort of like a Vox explainer. So he has to do that to sort of explain, if you care about climate, this is why it matters. And it brings, I think, some national money into his race. At least I hope it does.
Can you run on climate in Texas?
No. That's a short answer, but no, not when they can't keep the fucking lights on. I'm sorry to be so foul-mouthed, but it's life or death. Yes, you can run on climate. You can. I'm being stupid. Of course you can. But if you're going to do it, you got to show you're going to create more jobs, which you can. We know that. We know that there's a whole lot more jobs in the green energy sector. But the first thing they got to do is what Luke does in this for part of the ad, which is tell them, I'm going to keep the lights on. And the reason that these poor people froze to death and everybody else was inconvenienced and lost a lot is because of the corruption in the one-party state that is Texas. I think climate is important, but it's secondary when your loved ones are freezing to death in a nursing home.
I would never tell a Texan how to run their state, but I would really change the name of the Railroad Commission to something that seemed a little more connected to keeping the lights on.
Well, he does tell you that with a wink. That is the idea. He's certainly, I think, heading toward the right message, which is, I'll keep the power on and I'll get the crooks out. And those two are connected.
The next ad we're going to watch is from Stacey Abrams, who is running for governor of Georgia for the second time.
In the last 4 years, I've seen more Georgians face pain, face challenges. When I didn't win the governor's race, not getting the job didn't exempt me from the work. And so I didn't quit. I got back to work, paid off the medical debt of 68,000 Georgians, helping small businesses stay alive, making sure they had the financing they needed, and putting money into the pockets of families, trying my best to make sure that every Georgian had access and opportunity. I was raised that when You don't get what you want. You don't give up. You try again. You try because it's how things get better. It's how the world moves forward. I don't quit because Georgians deserve leadership, and that's what a leader does. That's the job of governor. I want one Georgia where everyone has the opportunity to rise together and everyone has the opportunity to thrive. And now, let's get the job done.
Paul, what do you think of this ad?
Wow. I don't want to get all fanboy, but every frame was great. Every syllable was great. People should, in both parties, should study this ad. As you know, Dan, all these politicians usually start with the bio ad. And it's like, hi, my name's Paul. This is my lovely wife, Diane. And here's my German Shepherd, Gus. Screw all that. It's a bio ad that defines her in terms of values. And not, by the way, her impressive resume: Spelman College, University of Texas, Yale Law, best-selling author, phenomenally successful lawyer. None of that is in there. It's not about Stacey. It's about you. I mean, the semiotics here, every frame is family, faith, flag. I love that there are these shots of rural Georgians. She was way ahead of most Democrats on that. And the specifics in there, again, are not about her. It's about me. She canceled medical debt. She paid off medical debt for 68,000 Georgians. She got $100 million for Georgians. She saved all these small businesses that were threatened by COVID. This is how you do it, people. This is how you do it.
I agree with you. I love this ad. I am incredibly biased for Stacey Abrams. I think she is the brightest star in the Democratic Party right now. I think for the long-term future of the party, we need not just the people of Georgia, we need her to win this race. But what I think is so interesting about this ad is she has this challenge that when she came so close in 2018, she was like a regular person running a grassroots campaign. She seemed like a political outsider. And since then, she's become a national celebrity, the savior of democracy, the hero of resistance Twitter. She's written several best-selling books since then. So this is a way to return to those roots. And the other thing that is, like you hit on this, is it shows it doesn't tell everything about her, right? Like you're saying, like people are like, the voters want someone they can grab a beer with. So we're going to tell the voters that we like beer. Here it just treats the audience like they have a brain, which is missing in so many ads in both parties.
One of the scenes where there's food on the table, I notice this. I've worked in Georgia. They got sweet tea too. That is such a Georgia thing. You know, we've all won and we've all lost. And when Stacey lost by 50,000 votes against a guy who was controlling the counting of the votes, when people of color had been purged, there was a lot of problems with that election. We all face a choice when we lose. Will we get bitter or will we get better? And if you look at Trump, he's gotten bitter. All he does is relitigate his loss. Stacey could have done that with some real grounds, but she doesn't do that. She decides to get better. I love that line. I didn't get the job, but it didn't exempt me from the work. Everybody, the consultants especially, ought to watch that and say, oh, this is how you do it. I especially love a Democrat who's reaching out to rural voters.
Look, people, the internet is not a safe place. You do not need to go trolling through it to look for episodes of your favorite political ad analysis series. Who knows? You go looking for Political Experts React. Next thing you know, you've gone down a rabbit hole. You're joined a cult. You're interested in Trump. You listen to Jordan Peterson. You're a Ben Shapiro fan. That is not a risk worth taking. So let's do this the easy way. If you just simply smash that subscribe button, then you don't have to go searching in the dangerous world of the internet for this show. You'll be able to find it easily every single time. So smash that subscribe button. Safety first, people. The next ad we're going to watch is from Jon Fetterman, a Democrat running for Senate, Pennsylvania.
You want to talk about forgotten places? I spent the last 20 years living in a community that was written off. There's a lot of great towns in Pennsylvania that feel like their community's best days were a generation ago or more. These kind of people deserve to participate in the American dream. They want somebody that's going to tell it to them the way it is. Pennsylvania is a beautiful and complex and diverse state, from Philadelphia to a county of 5,000 like Cameron. It's not rural versus urban, it's rural and urban. Every county matters here in Pennsylvania, and we can't leave anyone behind. We can't leave anyone out of the conversation. For the last 20 years, this is where I've been, fighting for the same places, the people and principles. It hasn't changed, and that's why I'm running for the U.S. Senate. I'm not willing to write off any region, any county, any part of Pennsylvania. I'm Jon Fetterman, and I approve this message.
Now, Paul, you are famously a Texan. You helped elect an Arkansan to the White House twice. But what many people don't know about you is that you have been deeply involved in Pennsylvania politics for a very long time. So I wanted to get your take on this ad. I don't know what your position is in the primary. You don't have to take a side here. Just analyze the ad from the perspective of an expert.
I don't have a favorite in the primary. That's a terrific ad. Again, here's like a really difficult thing to do for whoever made this ad. I don't know who his consultants are. Jon Fetterman, a very distinctive looking guy whose visage is a big part of his persona, does not appear until second 42. 42 seconds into a 60-second ad. We don't see Jon Fetterman. Why? Like Stacey wants to make it about you, not me. The primary vote is all going to be urban and suburban. Cameron County in the general election only has 2,000 voters, and they vote about 2-1 Republican. But the fact that he is saying that he cares about those places is, I think, the message to Democratic primary voters, which is, I can win. Parties want to win. If a party doesn't win, it doesn't have shit. I like that the opening shot is a church. I think this is like when Bush was my governor in Texas. He studied Spanish, to which I used to say to him, you're only taking Spanish, governor, so you could be ignorant. But he also would go to black churches. Why? He didn't do very well with black and Latino voters, but it told suburbanites, you can be for this guy. He's not a racist. And I think it's equal and opposite with Fetterman. I think Fetterman's saying, you can be for this guy, and he's not going to get blown out in the T, which Carville famously described the area between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh as Alabama without the black people. So I think it's very, very savvy ad, very smart.
Yeah, I very much agree. The rural outreach part it is a primary ad message of electability. It's also in a very close race. If you can just get those margins to look a little closer to what they were in 2012 than they were in 2016 and 2020, he can win this race. Democrats have to find a way to reach out to working class voters, and I define that writ large. Rural white voters, urban black voters, urban Latino voters, rural black voters all across this country, building on the idea that voters, for all of the distrust of the system they have, some of the disillusionment they've had with our party, still hold on to the idea that we are the ones more likely to fight for them. Republicans are more likely to fight for corporations. And so this is sort of, I think, by showing this little bio story, is the foundation to which you might be able to make that argument in a general election. You can believe me because I am one of you. I will fight for you.
This is the greatest problem the Democrats have. In the last 20, 25 years, they have morphed into becoming the party of the faculty lounge, not the factory floor. If we could just go back to Obama's numbers, the first African-American president did better in rural white areas than Hillary or Joe. We have been doing something to piss these people off and to abandon them. We have lost 18 points with high school educated minorities. We all focus on the high school educated whites, and I love them. I'm white. I don't know if you can see. I'm so white I get a sunburn from the light bulb in the refrigerator. But the heart and soul of our party is people of color. And when we have alienated 18% of the black and brown and Asian American immigrant native voters that we got for Obama, we're doing something wrong. And Fetterman and Stacey are doing something right. They're going right back to those voters, black and white, those working class voters, and saying, hey, I care about you. I'm one of you. It's really important for Democrats.
I hope all the consultants who are making all the ads watch this show, but also listen to the advice and analysis you've given, Paul. Thank you for joining us on Political Experts React. It is always great to talk to you.
Love the pod. Thanks for having me. It's great to see you again.
Thanks for watching these ads and videos with us. If you have anything you'd like us to break down, let us know in the comments. See you next time.